Hello, everyone. My name is Carrie. I am your empowering educator, and today is my birthday. So, a service that I like to provide is a solar return tarot spread. And I've done this for year ahead tarot spreads starting in January. But because not everyone loves the Gregorian calendar, and because I think that like honoring your birthday as your own beginning of a new year is pretty rad. I decided that this is just a model of what I like to do with clients and wanted to put it out here live on Facebook I said Facebook, but I'm on YouTube for a couple reasons. One is to just let you all know that my name is Karen. Not everyone loves the Gregorian
Tarot
calendar,
comedian.
and because I think
Voice is
that
in
I had right now, so I had to close that down. So I'm going to start over. Hi, my name is Carrie. I am a tarot comedian and I am your empowering educator. And I believe that doing a year ahead tarot spread for your solar return or your birthday is great for a couple of reasons. One is it gives you a fresh start whenever throughout the year. Two, it gives you something tangible that you can like lock back into or look back on throughout the year, whether it's seasonally, monthly, whatever. And three, I just think it's a nice way to kind of tune into what could be without ever actually predicting the future. So, without any further ado, I'm just going to get into it and I'm going to talk to myself here. So I'm going to use you, even though I'm just talking to myself. And for those of you who are watching, whenever you are watching this, if anything lands with you, that is perfect. That is amazing. And if this is something that resonates with you, I would love to hear from you. So the first thing that I like to do for a year ahead tarot spread is ask the cards what would be an anchor card for the year. So this will just be an energetic card that I can kind of keep coming back to help add information to my cards that I pull out throughout the year. So I'm using the Numinous Tarot, which is my first tarot deck and my beloved. And what, of course, is very interesting, I didn't bring my tarot journal with me, but I'm 99% sure this was also my card of the year for January. So we got the Eight of Vials, which is this deck's version of the Eight of Cups. And for Harry, this is a chance for you to leave behind the things that no longer fulfill you. You don't need permission to do that. You just need to pack your bag so you're not going anywhere unaccompanied, you're not going anywhere unprepared, but you are really looking hard at what serves the bigger purpose in your life, and you're leaving behind anything that does not fill that cup. So I love this imagery here because I am sober as of December 2021. And so to kind of have this image of a figure outside of what looks like a bar or party who is just kind of taking a moment for themselves and saying like, I don't need to be a part of all of the action. I get to kind of like walk my own path. I kind of imagine that this is me, at the end of this year. So kind of tuning back in with December 2023 and or May 2024 to be like, okay, I'm out here, I'm taking a nice deep breath, I'm looking up at the stars, and I am deciding which way I get to go instead of just being in the hustle and bustle of the grind culture, of the party, of the distractions of capitalism and white supremacy and the patriarchy, and deciding how I want to march to the beat of my own drum. So, this being the card of the year feels really, really good. So, it is May 7th, 2023, and I am going to pull a card for the rest of this month. So, essentially until June 7th, 2023. What is a card that I can hold on to as an anchor for what this month might bring me? All right. And I got the 10 of bells reversed. So I'm going to keep my card of the year up here as I talk about each of these cards, because then it kind of gives me a little bit of information to further tap into, what I might be able to expect in this next rotation around the sun. So the reverse 10 of bells is this deck's version of the 10 of swords. So Carrie, you, me, is going to be ending some kind of a thought cycle. This is a gorgeous representation of this card where you see and feel the silence of what's going on here. So in theory, this person has probably been listening to these bells for far too long, and it has caused lots and lots of anxiety. And you can see an arrow kind of coming out of this person's heart, as well as some like trickles of blood, and they are underwater, just like floating, but all of the bells are silent. So even though it feels like a holy fuck card, it's also a really peaceful card to be like, this is over. And what that says to me in looking back at this Eight of Vials is that there's no longer going to be any, hopefully, like wishy-washiness. There's going to be a little bit more decisiveness, because this idea of thinking through every choice is hopefully going to be silenced, where you can look at what are the things that are filling me up. Does it lend itself to my ultimate vision for what I want? And if not, silence. There is a rune that I pull pretty frequently that alludes to the fact that I believe it's Awaz. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. And the quote says, even more than being doers, we are deciders, because once we decide, the doing becomes easy. And I know that for myself, I spend a lot of time in my head doing the deciding instead of the doing. Or I'm like fluctuating about the doing. So if this means that in this next month, I'm really being clear about what I am leaving behind, hopefully those decisions are going to be clear as well. And the bells are going to be silent, meaning the thoughts are going to be silent. And I'm going to be able to just do the thing, making sure that it fills me up as we go. That feels really nice to say out loud. And hopefully, future Carrie, you are appreciating this. So now from June to July, this card flipped its way over. So we've got the Three of Candles reversed. Reversals for me are just kind of like an internal process as opposed to something that I'm showing out into the world. The Three of Candles is the Three of Wands. And I love this depiction because you've got this tiny, tiny little person. Yes, figure is what I meant to say, on this like expansive beach. And you have all of these like lit, I was thinking of the French word, beams. That's not the right word. Anyway, beacons, that's the word, that are either, in my mind, they're like leading something back in. So this figure is probably waiting for some kind of a return on something that has already been put out into the world. So for Carrie, you get to be this figure who is waiting for this like creative return on everything that you have done so far. So you get to be patient, you get to dream big. And once that ship comes in, there's a chance to unload it. There's a chance to rest. There's a chance to potentially refill it with what is needed for then the next journey out, back out into the wild. And I don't say that to say that you have to do that, but that's a potential that sometime between June and July, there's going to be something that's coming back in that is, that has been built upon something that you have already established. And creatively, you're doing tarot stand-up, you are writing, you are coaching, you are creating content, you're creating courses. So this could be a really nice chance for you to decide, Are you going to take this time to just like unload and be celebratory with what is? And or are you ready to kind of like pack the ship back up and go back out for your next venture? And I think if this is any indication that like you have already made the decision, you'll know exactly what to do. Just make sure that it's always coming back to like, does it fulfill you in that long term? All right. So now we're looking at July to August 2023 for what card is going to influence the energy of that time. And we got the Eight of Tomes. So this is really fun, actually, because right now we've got one of each of the suits represented apart from the major arcana. So we have the emotions of the Eight of Vials. We have the thoughts of the Ten of Bells. We have the passion of the Three of Candles. And then we have, also interestingly, we have a second eight, which is also upright. I feel like the practical groundedness of the Eight of Tomes. And so this being from July to August, there's going to be some good work that needs to be done. So that might mean that whatever is coming in from here, like this return on investment from June to July, there might be then like some considerable work that you're going to get to do. You don't have to do it. It's not a should, because fuck that shit. We're not doing that anymore. But you get to, like, I mean, with this figure here, like they are clearly just like up creating. I like to imagine that this is a zine, which actually might say that on the front of, yeah, it says like Factor Fashion on it. So I just imagine this person being like, this is something that I really want to create, but if I want to create it, I have to put in the hard work for it. So you, Carrie, from July to August, this is your chance to put in the hard work towards what really fulfills you. Again, seeing that we have two eights here, these are two very powerful cards of transformation. So not only are your emotions transforming, but also like your day-to-day thing, like the practical things that you do are going to be transforming, which is exciting because I'm thinking about present day Carrie, you know, May 7th Carrie, who is working at a lot of things, kind of being more stable and practical in my life. And to think about this July to August period being one of like, you're going to actually get into the nitty gritty of like making this happen, is really exciting to think about. So this, let's call this like, I want to call this like my summer spread, because yes, we're in May, which is still spring, but technically past Beltane or May Day on the 1st of May, that was like technically the first day of summer. So we're going to say that all of this is my summer spread. So, and again, yes, I know that from August into September, like we're getting into fall and everything, even though it's not going to feel like that here in Sacramento, it's going to be balls ass hot, but that's fine. This is going to be a really, really nice time to check my thoughts, make sure anything that is not serving me is silenced so I can just be the decider and the doing will be easy. See that return on investment and then put in the hard work necessary to actually commit to what fills me up. So that feels really exciting. So now we're going to move into my quote unquote fall spread. So this will be from August to September will be the first card. And again, I'm leaving that card of the year out there to kind of like keep coming back to that as an anchor. And if I do this for you, meaning gentle watcher, reader, listener, you're not reading anything except for the words on there, then this is exactly what I'll do for you. So August to September, we got the 9 of Candles. So this is the second candles, which means anything related to June to July, where I'm getting that return on investment. There may come a point from August to September where I'm kind of like building back in that intensity, that momentum. This is a positive thing. This is a chance to really dig into what is lighting you up from the inside. Oftentimes this can feel like a defensive card, but I don't always see it that way. I see it as a like, yes, there's like a protective quality of it and like a self-preservation quality of it, but it's not like cutthroat. It's more like I'm here. Like you can tell this figure is very comfortable, right? They're in what looks like pajamas. They have their walker that is supporting them. They look like they could be slightly scared, but actually, I think that they look kind of determined. And I know it got a little fuzzy doing that, but like they're looking off into the distance and being like, I'm here. This is what I've built for myself, and I am going to take a moment to make sure that everything feels safe and secure and protected as I move forward. And again, this is in the realm of creativity. So leaving behind anything creatively that isn't working, and then taking that moment to like celebrate and savor what is, and just kind of like, again, like putting a light on everything and seeing what you have created up until this point. Because if you've put in the hard work of the 8 of Tomes from the previous month, this is going to be a chance to kind of look at it and be like, fuck yeah, you built that shit. So that seems really exciting. All right, so now we're going to look at fall. We're already in fall, but from September to October. So what is a card that is going to be supportive from September to October? So we're looking at the Dreamer of Tomes. So back to our July to August, with the 8 of Tomes, there might be some relation there between what I have like worked really hard at in August, that is going to be related to whatever's going on from September to October. So the Dreamer of Tomes is this deck's version of the Page of Pentacles. And in the Modern Witch Tarot, which is another deck that I use very frequently, this is, I think, the only page who has a backpack on. So it kind of feels related back to the 8 of Tomes as being like, I'm not going to be unprepared for this journey. Like I've got the things that I need with me. Um, and I really like the image of this person just like kind of imagining, like I use the word whimsical with this card a lot, where it's like this person is, kind of reading out of a book and like there's sparks coming off the page, and it's like, what is inspiring? And not just what's inspiring, but what can you do about it? So I know that you, Carrie, tend to have lots of big ideas, but then you don't always know what to do with them. Like you're like, well, I'll get to that someday. But I think the invitation with this card in September to October is going to be like taking those practical steps to like making that happen, but in a whimsical way and in a very playful way. Play is really, really important with this card because the dreamer is like the youth. It's the child of the tarot, and is really thinking about like tapping back into that joy that you feel when you are actually working towards what feels good. And I know you wrote in your journal today about how good it feels, like how satisfying it feels when you complete something that you have put your mind to. So I think that this Dreamer of Tomes in September to October is a really great reminder of like the practicality behind what you're imagining. So if you've taken this time to sort of like look at everything that you've built, savor it, celebrate it, the Dreamer of Tomes is now like, all right, now what are we going to do about it? What can we practically put into place that is going to center that childlike, imaginative, whimsical feeling and actually put it into being? I love that for me. Now we're looking at October to November 2023. I'm thinking about a card that will support me in this time. Okay, so interestingly, we got another tome. It is reversed. So as I mentioned earlier with the other reversals, this feels it's more of like an internal process, like a reflecting, introspective kind of situation, but it's also a 3. So the first 3 that we got was the 3 of Candles for July to August. Nope, June to July. where it's going to be like that, like kind of waiting and coming back from like whatever I've been putting out into the world. So this Three of Tomes here in the October to November period may be related to the Three of Candles from the July to August period. And this is again going to be in that realm of like internal practicality. We have a figure here who is studying herbal things, anatomy, and then they have the page open to rosemary. God bless you. Thank you. I crack myself up. Which is a plant of fragrance. It is one, it's like a very, it's a very practical plant. It has protective qualities. It has links to memory. And you can see this person is like joyfully undertaking this work of like learning. So I feel like the two of these together, this is all about like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, Carrie? You're going to come back to this in, what is this? October to November and be like, bitch, I don't know. But hopefully I will. At that point, hopefully I will. But this might be like a bit of a recalibration too of like, what have you put out into the world so far? And can you look at it with beginner's mind? This is the card of the master, the model, and the pupil. So who are you at this phase of your journey? I would say that this card is suggesting you are the pupil, but you could be a master who is going back and just reviewing things that you haven't looked at for a long time. Or you could be the model who is just like completely new and vulnerable and bucket ass naked, you know, out there kind of showing their goods to the world. And any one of those is exactly right for you, but make sure that you're kind of going back to the source of again why you're doing what you're doing. Make sure it's fulfilling, and then when you're undertaking this work, like you're doing it joyfully. Okay, so that is fall for you, me, Carrie, your empowering educator, my empowering educator. What the fuck? All right. So now we are looking at, okay, I got to do this again. So this was May to June, June, July, July, August, August, September, September, October, October, November. Okay, cool. So we're looking at November to December for my winter spread. Winter is a good time of year for recalibration, regeneration, hibernation, and let's see what the cards have to say about November to December. Okay, our first major arcana card. And this is the Diviner, which is this deck's version of the High Priestess, again, reversed. So you have been on a quest with your spirituality. You have been learning how to be silent, to be still, to allow yourself to receive guidance, wisdom, and your own heart, as opposed to being up here in your head. And again, remember, you've only had one swords and it was the 10. So like you're done. So bells. Yeah, we've got 2 candles, 3 tomes, and then yeah, this is the first major arcana. And then we have vials leading the whole thing. So what this is saying to me is that November into December is going to be a really nice time to check back in with like your inner knowing. So take this figure and turn them upright, and you can see again the bells are silent. You're not listening to the thoughts. This person is nude and their eyes are covered, but like there's like a third eye wreathed in gold above them, and they're kind of wrapped in this delicious purple. So this is a good chance to really be introspective. Also, because this is a major card, this is probably going to be, I don't want to say like forced upon you, but like you won't make the decision. It will be made for you that like this is a time to be introspective. So allow that to be the case. Again, because it's reversed, this is going to be sort of very internal work. But if this is the card from November to December to like lead you through into that potentially like recalibration, because again, we're like halfway through the year now at this point. Yeah, so you'll be at your half birthday. This could be a really good time to just check back in with this Eight of Vials energy. Are you still from like leading from that place of internal center of knowing like what the bigger picture is, like what is fulfilling to you? And just take that time. Take that time. All right. December into January. So this is going to be how we ring in end and ring in the new Gregorian year. So 2024 will happen at some point when this card makes itself known. And we got the reversed Six of Bells. So we haven't had any sixes yet, but this is the second bell. So June to July is when this cycle is ending of overthinking, anxious thoughts, not worrying about the decision, but just the doing. This is going to be another chance from December into January, so to ring in 2024, to see what else needs to transition. So this is a card that reminds you that you have all of these tools at your disposal, right? Like you're in a boat, which is made of wood, which is from the earth. You are on the water, which relates to your emotional state. You are being driven by the wind, which are your thoughts, your mental processes, and you are being guided by your fire, right? You have not only the fire on the bow of the boat, but also at the land to which you are going. And that land is also lit from above, like divinely. So in your thoughts for what 2024 is going to bring you, this is a really good, again, introspective time for you to think about what can transition. It could have to do with your mental processes. It could be that like your communication is changing. It could be that your thought processes are changing. I'm getting the sense right now that this is going to have to do with your novel, which is very exciting because at this point, again, you'll be 8 months into like, this is you like really devoting yourself to your novel in the hopes that it will be ready for publication sometime between 2024 and 2026. So I'm seeing like a transition here. So this could be in the editorial process. This could be in like a peer reading process. This could be in an agent process, query letters, things like that. Today, May 7th, Carrie, is like, fuck, really? That's going to happen from December to January, but like, you want this to happen, Carrie. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to feel that fear right now, but like, you don't need to, because this is all for your highest and best as long as it's fulfilling for you. This could be the chance to, again, kind of be so like if this figure in the Eight of Vials is on this boat, like they are looking up at the stars, like you get to be guided forward in this process. It is not happening to you, it is happening for you, which is really fucking exciting. Oh, I'm getting like butterflies and goosebumps thinking about this. So I'm just going to take a moment with that because that feels really good. And future me, you are going to appreciate this. Ooh, so starting out January to February, ending this winter cycle, what is the card that is going to support me as this Six of Bells is showing me a transition? Love them. Thank you, Magician. Thank you. Again, getting goosebumps. This is very exciting. Second major arcana card, which means from January to February, you're like all the tools are coming together. You are going to create something fucking great, Carrie. This is a chance, again, could have to do with your novel, could have to do with your tarot stand-up, could have to do with your coaching, your programming, but because there's something again with this like transition, so you've like taken the introspective time of the diviner in November to December, you are transitioning whatever's happening from December to January, from January to February. This is again, it might be similar to that like Eight of Tomes energy from May, June, July to August. So again, kind of think back to like the energy that you had from that July to August time and see if that's what's coming up here. It might not be related at all, but I have a sense that there's going to be yeah, just like some creative energy that's going to come in from this January to February of 2024, that you're going to be like collecting all your tools. And again, this is a major card, so it's not that like it's being done to you, it's going to just be what happens. Like everything's going to line up that you're going to be able to be the magician of your own life, which again is really fucking exciting. So this might be just creating something completely new. I get the sense that like you are in the driver's seat here. I mean, obviously, of the Six of Bells, the boat, like you get to drive the boat, and then with wherever that boat lands, like you get to create the newness of what happens next, which is so cool. Okay, so now we're finishing out your solar return spread, my solar return spread with the spring season, which feels really fun. I love being born in the spring and the regenerative resurrection, rebirth energy of it, which is like my energy. Duh, it's you, it's me, you get it. So we are looking at February into March. So the beginning of the wheel of the year, really. So if we're thinking about Aries season, we're thinking about, yeah, Pisces season ending. So this is like leading us into the next solar return. So for February to March, that feels like it wants to talk to me. This is only our second vials of the spread, 99% sure. Yeah. So the Ace of Vials is going to be like a new emotional fulfillment situation. So the fact that this Eight of Vials has been with us for the whole year, this like transformative energy of like leaving behind what is no longer fulfilling and then finding what is, it feels like really fitting that spring is going to be the time where like that is overflowing and you get to feel really full with what you've done up until this point. So good reflection time on how this wheel of the year, like your wheel of the year, is going. And reminding yourself that like there's going to be some mud, right? Like this is the time of the year where mud is big. Not always in Sacramento, but it has been because of the rains this year. So like what is overflowing, what is abundant, what is growing from the mud, and allowing your February into March to really reflect a chance to like have that emotional refresh, restart, to close out your end of the year. That sounds pretty cool. So now we're looking at March to April. So really getting into the energy of spring. Oh, interesting. So we got another ace here. So fresh starts all around. And this is the Ace of Bells. So new thoughts, new ideas, and our third bells. So interestingly, like having had the 10 of bells be the beginning of this solar return. And then, all right, the other 6 of bells was, damn, I forgot. Take your time, Carrie. It's okay. You can watch this later and appreciate the fact that you gave yourself this time. So this is, yeah, okay, December into January. So then we have the Ace of Bells for your March into April. So think again about like what has transitioned already from December into January. And then how you can kind of have a new start with that, again, introspectively, reflectively. You don't have to do anything with it. This doesn't have to affect anyone else. It can just be for you, from your March to April, that maybe there's going to be some new thoughts, new ideas coming in. Allow yourself to receive that, and allow it to joyfully bring you on the next path, as opposed to feeling like, there's some anxiety involved. Because this Carrie, gets nervous with the bell suit, just because like I've had just challenges with it in the past. So this is a good chance to be like, hey, you don't have to do anything with this. So from March to April, if you get some new ideas, new inspirations, just be with it, let it fill you, but don't feel the pressure to do anything with it. And then closing out your year ahead tarot spread for your solar return, Harry, you're going to be ending from your April into May card with the Two of Vials. So the companionship, the exchange, the reciprocity of your partnerships, your relationships, your support from divine, your ability to compromise and feel fulfilled through sacrifice. But again, like there's compromise, there's exchange here. So it's like, yes, you might be giving up something, but like you're going to be gaining a lot in return, which is coming back to this Eight of Vials, right? Like you're looking at the bigger picture, you're tapping into your higher purpose. This is an overall transformation in terms of your emotional fulfillment, that you're going to be ending the year feeling, I think, a lot of gratitude. This card is making you think of your partner, Tyler, who you love dearly. It's making you think of your friends who support you in your creative endeavors, your family who supports you in creative endeavors, and then anyone who between now and then, so Sunday, May 7th, 2023 to Monday or Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. This is going to be a really good time to kind of honor those partnerships, those relationships, those friendships that are really fulfilling. And make sure that it's reciprocal. This could be a really nice rebalancing time to come back to the energy of the whole year, which this isn't going to be able to fit them all, but maybe I can do it this way. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Let's do it that way. Oh, this won't work great, but it's okay, because this is just a chance for you to play with all of these energies and kind of see them all at once together. And for those of you who are like, what the fuck is happening here? Normally I would take a picture of like this whole spread, and I might do it for myself because I haven't. So why not? But just to kind of see all of the energies together. And I know what these cards are, so it's okay that they're all not, fully visible, because I'll look at them. Okay. So Eight of Vials is telling me that over the course of this year, there's going to be big shifts in terms of emotional fulfillment. The summer spread has to do with ending your unhelpful thought patterns and being done with them, seeing a return on your creative endeavors, and then putting in the hard work for the next phase. Then in the fall, you're going to be taking stock of everything creatively you have done up until this point, and really just like shining a light on it to savor it and celebrate it and defend it. Then you're going to be feeling really whimsical and playful and joyful about what comes next in terms of the practical steps that you can take, which will include learning, which will include applying yourself to the things that you love most, which have to do with research and learning and connecting. Then in the winter, good introspection time, for you to kind of listen, check back in. Your half a year will be done. See what needs to transition and then make your magic happen. And then for the spring of 2024 to lead you out of this solar return and into the next one, you're going to have two beautiful fresh starts having to do with emotional fulfillment and brilliant thought patterns, ideas. Um, Again, that can be shared, but also can be kept personal, private. And to end the year, you're going to be working with your relationships, the reciprocity, and the beautiful things that are fulfilling to you in terms of what you're giving and getting. So, that felt really good. I've never done it like this before for myself. I have my own year ahead spread that I did in January, but to actually do this for my birthday feels really special. And my goal is to possibly once a month, but maybe just every 3 months, is to kind of come back on here and talk about the card and like reflect on it out loud and, see what lands and what doesn't and what is working and what hasn't, because that is how we learn and grow. And I believe doing that with the accountability of like this type of a format is helpful for me anyway. Um, Whether or not anyone actually watches this, like, cool, whatever, that's fine. Hello. But it's for me. And if you get something out of it and it inspires you to want to work with me, talk to me, laugh with me, learn from me, then so be it. And if not, like, that's cool too. I'm here for me. And if y'all want to come on the ride, then happy to. So I am Carrie, your empowering educator. Happy fucking birthday, Carrie. Every time you watch this video, I want you to remember that you had a beautiful day where you were on the water this morning, you were on a jet ski this morning, you saw a sea lion, you saw turtles, you saw cormorants and herons and egrets, and you had a delicious breakfast. You finished 2 books this weekend. You have a new little virtual friend named Matcha who you're going to keep taking care of. And you have wonderful family and friends who you love and love you dearly. So happy birthday and enjoy the dinner that you were just about to have with the love of your life.